When my girls were 10 and 7 is when I started working. Yes, again, it was my husband's company. My husband clearly said, if you come in as an employee of Welspun. Till today, I know I get evaluated like a CEO of the company and by the board. So I really love that. 2010, when I took on the reins of Welspun Living, the key thing that I actually was told that, was she capable enough?
Yes.
When I came on board, there were 7% women at Welspun Living. And today we have over 30% women. I've always believed in one thing, that if you're going to be focused on what you really want to make an impact and focus on the strengths that you have, is where your journey begins to where you want it to be. Diversity just doesn't happen like that.
Yeah.
A simple example, women wake up at 5 a.m. in the morning. They handle the household chores, they take care of the children, family, come to work and then go back and again do the same. The man doesn't do anything. How can the family share the workload as well? So I think it's the entire ecosystem, whether it's at home, whether it's at work, needs to really support. So yes, that support is needed, but I think women are changing, and if you can give them a little support, they are just going to really leap forward.
In this episode of Three at the Table, we are joined by Dipali Goenka, a real maverick in the textile industry and one of the most powerful advocates for women empowerment. As the managing director and CEO of Welspun Living Limited, Dipali has not only transformed the company into a global leader in home textiles, but has also spearheaded initiatives that emphasize sustainability and innovation. Dipali's journey as a leader of Welspun has revolutionized not only her company but also the textile industry. She has been instrumental in driving Welspun's global expansion, all the while ensuring the company grows on the principles of equal participation and inclusive leadership. So join us as we go deep into the experiences and insights of a leader who lives what she believes. Welcome, Dipali. Welcome
Thank
to our show. We are very, very excited to have you.
It's indeed a pleasure to be here. Thank you.
Dipali, personally as well as professionally, I have been really fascinated with your journey. When I started learning more about it, I follow you a lot. And that's why I'm going to start from the start. According to my research, you were born, brought up in Jaipur, married at 18. And the next thing that I read about you was almost 15 years later, you made an appearance in Welspun as, I think, the head of design studio. More education after that, and I think it took you by 2010 to be the CEO of Welspun India. Like this, it's like a whole universe of things happening in a microcosm of 15 years. How was it being Dipali at that time?
That time, Dipali was wanting to find her feet, wanting to, having two daughters, having that determination to open that door for my daughters, create a legacy. Because I always believe that it's the mother who inculcates not only just the value, but also the path for her daughters. And that's where it began, having two daughters coming in from a conservative Marwari community, getting married at the age of 18. When my girls were 10 and 7 is when I started working. And yes, again, it was my husband's company. And yes, there's one thing that I really want to just put it here and mention is, my husband clearly said, if you come in as an employee of Welspun, and that's where it will be, and that's the way you'll be, taken on. Until today, I know I get evaluated like a CEO of the company and by the board. So I really love that.
Yeah.
So when I began, I launched my brand Spaces in 2003, not knowing anything about business. Then I said, when I launched my brand, I wanted to get some education. So I went and took a just giant leap and went to Harvard to do the owner's president management course. Learning about the consumer was such an interesting thing in India at that time. India was just evolving, opening up to the entire consumer demands.
Absolutely.
And the kind of aspirations that you see today have just skyrocketed. 2010, when I took on the reins of Welspun Living, which was Welspun India at that time, I got on board as a director. And the key thing that I actually was told that, and I think this is what I think most women get looked at for, or they're judged. Was she capable enough?
Yes.
And that is something that you saw happening. When I came on board, there were 7% women at Welspun living, and today we have over 30% women. The idea was that, why isn't this possible? Why can't there be some kind of diversity and equality in the thinking, in the way that an organization can think and believe in what the ethos of that company should be? And I think it just makes a difference so vastly.
Yeah.
Judgments, because I was judged. I was basically, people were talking about that, is she going to be capable of running this company?
Yeah.
What is she going to be doing here? I've always believed in one thing, that if you're going to be focused on what you really want to make an impact and focus on the strengths that you have, is where your journey begins to where you want it to be.
That's fascinating. But for one moment, I'm going to go back to those 15 years, because I think a lot of women are stuck in those 15 years. It's very productive years. There's a lot that women are doing at home. Homemaking is not an easy task. However, personal ambition somewhere gets swept under the carpet. A lot of times, personal ambition becomes invisibilized, and by the time women kind of come into their own, too much time has passed. In that whole journey, and of course, there's an ecosystem in our own heads as well as in our families that makes it more and more comfortable to not do anything. How did you navigate that space, and what would you like to share about that time?
There were a lot of things, because I think lots of women will resonate with this. The responsibility of running a household, taking care of the family, the extended family as well, and then your children is all on you, their education. So for me, that was an interesting one. My office was at Andheri that time, and my girls used to have their carpool in the morning at around 6:30. So I would leave them at the carpool and come back again at 5 o'clock, take their work and their homework, and put them to sleep, and again get back to work. For that, my social life got impacted. But I think for me, I think for every woman, I think it's very important to see what their priorities are.
Yeah.
Let's focus on that. And I think that's going to be a very important aspect if women really want to take this forward.
Yes.
I really focused on what my priorities were. It was my home, it was my girls, and my family, and of course, then work.
Yes.
And I think that's where it is till today. And yes, and yourself.
Yeah.
Because about your health, about how you take care of yourself, your mental health, your physical health, your entire, your food, your health, everything. That really
Prioritizing
makes
you.
it. Yeah, that's you. And it needs to be there. Because I always believe, I believe in one thing, and I had this prayer while growing up. हमको मन की शक्ति देना, दूसरों की जय से पहले खुद की जय कर.
Absolutely brilliant. And that is very important. With that thought, when you came into the workforce, see, again, I speak because some things need to be unpacked for women who are listening. One is getting into workforce and feeling very excited that here I am. I'm going to run the design studio for Welspun, or I'm going to this move from here to director. Does ambition grow on you, or do you have to negotiate with it, or is it something that, is it that, yes, I'm going to join here today so that I become CEO one day, or does this kind of grow on you over time? Because a lot of women do struggle even with that. Again and again, as we speak to more corporate women, we see a bit of an apology about ambition. Hesitation to say that I want to be the CEO, or I'm capable enough to make it, eliminating two other of my contenders. There is a hesitation there. So someone who's done it herself, how did you, was there a doubt ever any time, or you just knew that you were going to make it to the top?
There are doubts, and let me be very honest about it and say that and own it. There are doubts, and it begins with, and that self-doubt is not only your own doubt, it is also about what people think around you, because when you walk in anywhere, they judge you.
Yeah.
Whether she'll be able to do it, whether she'll be capable of doing it. And most of the times, let me also say, I've worked harder than the other male counterparts.
Yeah.
Who would have done this actually. So for me, when I began and when I launched my brand spaces also, and went to meet all the distributors, there were not women who were running businesses that time, even for domestic retail brands as well. So there was this thing. Okay, what will she be doing? I think people just forget, and for me, it was easy. And I always believe when people underestimate you, it's better.
Yeah.
Because that's where you start cracking, right?
You just surprise them.
Yeah, you surprise them, and that's what it was actually. And that's what happened. Because see, for me in my business, the other side, the consumer is a woman.
Yeah.
Even when I talk about my exports business, the other side, the customer is a woman who's a merchandiser
Yeah.
or a buyer. So for me, the resonation becomes better.
Yeah.
And who knows better about the home, the business that I lead,
Yeah.
more than a woman would.
Absolutely.
So,
But
yeah.
that's another interesting thing about the way you have approached this. You entered into a highly male dominated industry.
Yeah.
Most colleagues were men, most distributors were men, the whole value chain was men. But you spotted the most important stakeholder and found her to be predominantly women. You've also vocally said that you want your own teams to be at least 50% women.
Yeah.
And you as a leader do have the power. But to move a whole structure
Yeah.
is another thing.
Yeah.
What are some of the things you ensure happen so that your ambitions are met here?
The thing that I want to just put on the table here, we might, a lot of corporates pledge to have more diversity. Diversity just doesn't happen like that.
Yeah.
It is like, now let me tell you, if I'm working in the environment here, and I have more women, in the leadership, they need their peers to respect them. They need, they need the leadership to, think about them as a career path, right? Even at the factory floor, if the blue collar associate, my girls who are there on the floor, how does a supervisor behave with her? How far is the toilet for her? I mean, there's so many other things that you really need to really look at. A simple example that, when women started coming to work at our factories, women wake up at 5 a.m. in the morning. They handle the household chores, they take care of the children, family, come to work, and then go back and again do the same. The man doesn't do anything. How can the family share the workload as well? So I think it's the entire ecosystem, whether it's at home, whether it's at work, needs to really support. And who's the cheerleader for them? And I think for me, that was very, very important. For me, I think at Wellspun, I can say I could be the cheerleader for the women. And then that becomes infectious.
Yeah.
And there are more and more people then taking it and taking the diversity forward.
Yeah. But do you also have to deal with resentment in your workforce when you reiterate that there must be more fairness or there must be more inclusion of women or more, it's maybe wrong to say it, but for want of a better word, a positive bias for ensuring women are placed in certain positions. Does that also, and if yes, then how do you navigate those situations?
So I'll give you a very simple example. We run, shifts throughout the day. Yeah. So earlier it was like, okay, the girls will come in the morning and the evening. We didn't get the approval for the night shift. So it was like there was that resentment. Because she's a woman, she gets to come in the morning and the evening, afternoon shift, and not in the night shift. But we changed that also. That we gave more security to the girls so that they could work at the night shift as well when we got the approval in Gujarat for that, approval, for the women to work in the night shift as well. So yes, that support is needed. But I think women are changing. And if you can give them a little support, they are just going to really leap forward.
Absolutely. And that is everything, because we keep demanding women to show up, but we also are a little blinded to what it takes for her to show up. Whether, like you said, simply having toilets in the right place, in the right floors, or ensuring that there is security when they work some hours, or having conversations within your offices. Has there been, or would you like to share any such conversation or episode where it could have become a point of crisis, but because institutionally and as a leader you were able to, calm the conversation down, and it turned the culture around. Is there something you would like to share, or anything from your side on how to
No,
deal with it?
I think for me, I've always had the ears to the ground. So for me, that has been a very important aspect to what was what could happen or anything that could happen. But the important thing, like right in summers, we are in Anjar where the temperature is around 45, 50 degrees. So taking care of water being closer to people for the drinking, taking care of, what could be kind of, where people will, get dehydrated.
Yeah.
To, our girls coming in from the hinterland where they're anorexic. There's a problem in the terms of mental health. And how do you, so we have psychologists also. And also a lot of girls, how, when they come in, how we can have an opportunity for them to graduate and take on the leadership roles as the white collar,
Yeah.
and create more examples there is what we have done actually.
Yeah.
I think that's very important, and understanding the pulse.
Yeah.
So for me, it's very important that when I go to the factory, I definitely will use the women's toilet on the factory floor, because I really want to see, if everything is good.
What is her experience?
What's her experience, even in the girls' hostel, or even in my workers' colony. So, example, for the workers' colony, we have a program called SPUN, where these are the women who use the upcycle the rags and make cushions and rugs out of it, and they earn around 20,000 rupees per month.
Wow.
So I think for me, this is such an important aspect, and the thrill of having financial independence, and operating your own bank account. And I always believe that if a woman is empowered, the child is definitely going to go to school.
Will you spend some time talking about SPUN? I found it very, very progressive. It handled sustainability. It handled progressive gender norms. It gave financial independence. So a little from your it's a beautiful idea. So if you could just elaborate a little bit on SPUN.
So we when we generate rags, we actually upcycle around 2 tons of rags, which actually is used by the women to make cushions and rugs out of it on the pit looms.
Yeah.
And that area, Gujarat, is very craft centric. So we translate the whole sensibility of craft in the way the global audience would like to see it. And it is done by these women. So it's a very beautiful thing when you come to, we have 20 work centers, and 2 are in a workers' colony itself. So and they can come when they want to. And the others are in the community centers where there's a PPP with the government as well. So here, when the women come in, they can, work. The children are, studying at the Anganwadi next doors. So, and they can go and cook when they want to. They can take the child to, and tend for them. So, that's the way it is. So, there is that independence in the sense of, kind of opportunity for them to earn their living, as well as take care of their household and the children as well.
It's a very creative idea. It's very feminist in how it's been crafted, where you're taking the best of all worlds, something that people would have ignored, but made such beautiful use of it. Dipali, you have clearly arrived at a spot that most women don't even dream of. But I'm sure this is not even half masked for you. At this point, even with all the power, we now keep hearing of the struggles of women in power, navigating different decisions, navigating boardrooms, also fatigue that is stepping in. The more and more that we research, the more and more we see fatigue seeping in, women at senior leadership because of a lifetime of navigation and management and simply then menopause and all of that. The fact is we do have a body that is also keeping up with the stress that we are. How would you suggest women navigate something like this?
So, let me just give you a few examples at Wellspun. And this is something which is, we started at Wellspun. It's called the Women of Wellspun. So here you have women from all all levels, whether it's the blue collar, the white collar, the leadership, the middle level leadership, to the CEOs, and they come together. So whether it's about financial literacy, whether it's sharing and learning from each other's experiences, they can reach out to one another as well. So this is something that we feel. Because I think it's also about women supporting women. That is very, very important. The other important program that we have is the allyship program. So we always heard about a broken mid-rung, right?
Yes.
Where, always there's, the kind of judgment, the biasness that comes into the, decisions that we make. Imagine if you have your leadership who supports you, who understands you. There could be a lot of decisions that could be done through certain programs like a We Listen, and you can have unbiased kind of decisions that you can take. So that, I think, is a very important thing that we have, is the allyship program.
Lovely.
The other interesting thing that we do is the Welspun Sports Women, where we have the Para-Olympic athletes. And the women's and the sportswomen. We have around, say, 17 sportswomen, and they we really support their nutrition and their training and the others as well. So I think at all levels, I think there's a way that we look at what it really takes. As I told you about the girls' hostel, and we have this program of where women can graduate under the IGNOU. The whole the graduation program that you have, and they can have a path there. So I always believe with leadership comes a responsibility, and how you can take and touch many lives is what really makes an impact.
Yeah. See, I can't stop grinning because of everything that you're saying. Because when we again researched, we spoke to 65 senior women, and everything that they said they wish they wanted is what you're saying you're already doing at Welspun, which is beautiful because they feel isolated. They feel allyship is important, but they don't get it. They feel, infrastructure is not supporting them. Boardrooms are not supporting them. Mentorship is not there. And everything, as it comes with, I really feel this makes a very strong case for why women must be in positions of power, because then they can unleash that power.
Totally.
As a leader, when you are trying to institutionalize different facets of it, do you also face a pushback? For example, in some offices, I've heard that the diversity is costly, what is the cost of everything? So everything is broken down into the cost of this activity, this transaction, this infra. Do you get those kind of questions? And how do you ensure that whatever you have in your vision seeps down right to the to the women's hostel level?
First of all, I don't know. I know why people call diversity as expensive, because I think it's that whole balance that comes together that can make a kind of a society which can grow. When I talk about India and we talk about the 50% population, and if it doesn't participate in the growth of our country, how are we going to reach that journey of 5 trillion GDP? It's such an integral part to take our country towards that journey. So diversity cannot be expensive. Imagine in the world that we are living in today, what is the most important thing that we feel is again about, it's the emotions.
Yeah.
IQ is a very interesting thing which can be really acquired through computers, technology, but it's that EQ that doesn't.
Yes.
What does a human being have? It has the courage, it has the connection, and the communication. And that is what is so, so important. And I think diversity is such an integral thread of making a difference to the organization's character.
Yeah.
And I think so important to have that.
Yes. That's how you've been able to also turn the Welspun story around, right? When you focused on the final stakeholder and your product kind of then metamorphosized, really catering to her requirements.
Totally.
But is it that simple to institutionalize your vision? Like when you first came up with it, for example, and when you said, okay, look at, was it an easy sell?
It isn't. But I always believe that you believe in one cause, you go after it and make it happen.
And so how do you negotiate? Like, what is it to be negotiating with you?
No, I think when you negotiate with me, I should know what that cause is and which I have to believe in.
Yeah.
Is where I'll agree to it.
And you'll go after it.
I'll go after it.
From like early 2000s or late 90s, when you entered, to now, how much has changed for the better, and how much do you think has regressed?
There are two things that I have seen for the better right now. First, let me talk about what's been better. Is I see more and more women aspiring to work and having a dream to make something of their own. And I really like that. And whether, and they're wanting to do something, whether it's the millennials or the Gen Z. And that is something is very, very refreshing. The thing that I feel has regressed right now is because of technology. It is communication. I mean, it's the flip side, where you say that, okay, with technology comes communication, but at the same time, you're not communicating with people around you and also not communicating with yourself.
Yeah.
How you feel. Is that the question we've all asked ourselves
Yeah.
about? And I think that's such a big miss.
Has it truly become easier for women in workforce?
Tell me, is it the same with the men, we'll ask?
Men have honestly their own big struggles.
So I think
they
it's
do.
both ways.
Yes.
And I think let's give it to them as well. And I
Yeah.
think it's I will say let's look at it and at least believe that it's an equal society where I think both can coexist and collaborate together to make a better world.
Beautiful. That is a beautiful thought, because then we are also making allies out of the men who are going through their own struggles
Yes.
during the whole journey.
Totally.
That is a beautiful thought. And as you have two wonderful daughters, they are also working. You said a lot of your motivations came from being a good role model to your daughters. Again, what for you would be some of the things the listeners should be mindful of in their own journeys? There are young mothers now who are again making choices that are going to impact their families and their children. Some things that women should remember, whichever choice they make.
No, I think I can just tell everybody that, first of all, for themselves, to believe in themselves. If you believe in something, don't let anybody else influence you. I think that's where it is very important. And remember, the journey is not going to be easy. But, the whole thing is people leave it midway. Don't.
Correct.
So I would say never give up. I think that's going to be a very important aspect to what it is. And very importantly now, when we live in an equal world, it should not be, about what a boy should be doing and what the girl should be doing. It was about, when we talk about it, it is the world of equality.
Yeah.
It is the world where, where both of them can really make an impact. It's as, when a couple gets married, you're not talking about, okay, who's cooking or who's making home. We're doing it together.
Yeah.
It is where you both you both are an equity together.
Yeah.
You both create a value together.
Yeah.
And I think that's a very important way of looking at things.
Absolutely.
Rather than looking at you or me. It is you as a team who makes that and creates that equity.
And while these choices are being made and things are remembered, how much should a woman remember is the importance of her financial independence or her ability to earn?
Atma-Samman, self-respect, I think is for me so important. Not just being in a role in, kind of a corporate world, but doing something that makes you financially independent. It is just so powerful.
Yeah.
I feel that's something a woman needs to do. I really feel very strongly about it.
Yeah. Yeah. Because we spoke to Soumya Rajan, we spoke to Radhika Gupta, and both of them in different, contexts of their world were appalled and very sad about the fact that many women undermine their own need to be earning members and the need to invest their earnings and have control over their investment. You see that in your line of business as well.
I do. Totally. And today also, a lot of women's financials and finances are handled by the men,
Yeah.
and they don't handle it themselves.
Why do you think that happens, according to you?
I think it's something they comfortably just let the men do it. I know that's some kind of a mental setup that they have, and I think we all need to.
Yeah.
We all need to be accountable about what you earn and how you invest it.
Yeah. No. You are, it's almost like looking at the ideal story, because I'm sure, my question was that what we're seeing in someone like you is you've navigated a successful journey, you're at the top of your game. There are a lot of battle scars. Okay. If you may want to share with us are the top three, maybe things you had to do to get here, which were not easy for you. Even one is okay. And if you would like to share, that is, because it's also important. See, what you are today is not a matter of this moment. It's decades of hard work and decades of a certain kind of set of choices. And it's important for people to see you also, to recognize that you don't simply show up because you are you today. There is an investment. Would you like to share something that you had to do to ensure that you stuck around?
First of all, when I even started working, the important thing was to believe in yourself, play on your strengths that were very, very important, but at the same time, learn on the job. Roll up your sleeves and learn on the job. I didn't know anything about textiles.
Yeah.
Learning on the job was
Yeah.
very, very important, and then leading from the front.
Yes. And in that phase of learning, the ecosystem is not always kind.
No.
And you hear a lot of things that are
Yes.
and at that time to remember that you are stronger than that moment is not what everyone's capable of.
You have your weak moments and you're vulnerable. But I think at the same time, I think you should just think about looking at the bigger picture.
Yeah.
And looking at that whole, way forward is what it's going to be. And for me, it was also about, I have to do it. Not only because of my daughters, but also about setting an example for the women
Yeah.
who could be looking at me as well.
Did you have pillars of strength? Did you have people you leaned on or role models? Would you like to share their names with us?
So, I had a mentor, RRM, Rajesh Mandavewala, who is now the vice chairman of the group. He really mentored me, guided me. And a very important person in my life who really, I could really go to, was my daughter, Vanshika, my younger daughter. And it was so important to have that buffer
Yeah.
where she would say, yes, mom, you can do it.
Oh.
I think was such an important aspect to just hear that.
Yeah. Sometimes all you need is to hear
Yeah.
that on
Yeah.
the weakest moments.
Yeah.
No, thank you. Thank you. This has been the most exemplary conversation from the perspective of everyone who's listening, who would want to know, learn from your examples. But for me personally, it's really, if the world became a better place and things went right, this is what the world would look like, because it would mean positive feminist leadership that is focused on equity, equal participation, that is not looking to bash one gender to promote another, that is looking at sensitive participation. And it all really makes, the person who makes it happen is the leader. So you embody these beautiful virtues, and I'm so glad that you've shared parts of your journey with us today. It's been an absolute delight to have you here.
It's been my pleasure.
No,
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.